Welcome to another episode of the No Excuses, No Bullshit podcast. And today I'm very honored to have Andreas here as one of the coolest fitness dads on X. And yeah, Andreas, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm looking forward to this conversation and how I can help.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe we start with a little introduction. That would be nice. Like
So,
just a little bit about your background.
yeah. Okay, I'm 42, married for 23 years, father of 5 sons. And my background, I'm in construction as a painter. That's what I am doing currently as my 9 to 5. On the side, I build my coaching business, fitness coaching business on X mainly. Yeah, that's kind of a short introduction or background from me.
Yeah, so a pretty tight schedule, right? So how do you balance all the stuff, like and
Uh,
stay consistent with all the
Um,
tasks?
yeah, great question, Michael. Um, the best answer is, or I can give you, is that without the help of my wife, I would never be able to do what I'm doing. Um, I started very early, let's say at least 2 decades ago, to pursue different income strategies to create something of my own, etc., etc. And my wife knows already that I'm always working on stuff, creating, trying new things out. And also during that time, some money got, some would say, down the drain. I said I paid for experiences on things what I would do or wouldn't do again. And if my wife wouldn't support what I'm doing, I would never be able to um, do what I do on X and also talk with you here on the
Yeah,
podcast. I would never be able to exercise. And also, she knows that I'm doing it not for me, but for her because she's a stay-at-home mom for over 20 years now.
mhm.
And yeah, that's the reason is my wife.
Awesome. Yeah, it's good to have to don't do the stuff alone, like when you have a helping hand. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's much
And
easier.
yeah, and I mean you're a team, right? You can share the work, but the worries as well. And that's
Yep.
a nice thing.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
so in terms of routines and schedules and habits, so when is your peak time? Since you're a father, like do you usually do the tasks in the morning and the or do you even have habits like you do on a daily basis?
Um, yeah, I have some, but I'm
Hmm.
not a strictly um, habit guy of sorts. So there was a time when I did my workouts prior before my 9 to 5. I stood up at about 4 a.m. a bit later,
Hmm.
packed my things, did my workout, and then doing my 9 to 5, coming back home, working on X, writing stuff, um, commenting, networking, etc., etc. And then I have a time when I'm reading the Bible in the morning, like what I'm
Hmm.
doing now. I don't wake up as early as for workouts. It's more around 5 a.m., an hour later. Then I would come home and do my workout and do the X-related stuff. And that's usually how my days look like from Monday to Friday.
Hmm.
The Saturday is more for creating a week's worth of content for X, so that I
Content
have more.
creation.
Yeah. So that I have more time during the weekdays to connect
Yeah.
via DMs, etc., or on Discord, Telegram, whatever. Yeah, and Sundays are most often for me in the morning at around 10 a.m. to church,
Mhm.
then back home, dinner with family. Yeah, and the rest of the day is just relaxing, reading books like
So
Story
Sunday,
Brand.
awesome, awesome. Sunday is a recharger then. Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
that's right. So Sundays
Mhm.
for recharging, and the only difference is depending when I'm waking up, either 4 a.m. or 5
Mhm.
a.m., then I do the workouts prior to work or after.
Okay, so there's one question regarding this. So how is the energy and the outcome? Because if you, I have found out that when I'm doing the complex tasks, like yeah, something on a project or continuing work on the mobile app, I usually perform better in the mornings. But that's just because after the 9 to 5, you already drained a little. Like it depends how stressful the 9 to 5 is.
Yeah.
So I mean I showed up anyway. Like also when I did the stuff in the evenings, but I see more progress now since I shifted the work to the mornings. And my routine is now like waking up at 4 a.m., doing my workout, ice bath, and then like 1 hour of project tasks and then 1 hour of mobile app. And I see definitely more progress now. And I shifted the operational tasks like all the engagement stuff, like connecting and all that stuff, I shifted to the evenings because that's fine. I can do that in the evening.
Mm,
But continuing work on a mobile app in the evening after a few hours of work is pretty tough. Like to
yeah.
keep your brain power up, I would say. So what have you recognized when, like with this shifting approach, with the routines?
So for me, the biggest shift is just to knowing that I did the most important work. For me, it's the workout early in the morning. Done. Finished.
Yeah,
Everything else is okay, what comes.
bonus. It's a
Yeah.
bonus. Yeah.
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 But in regard to energy, my work at my 9 to 5 is usually not that demanding in regard to
Mhm.
the physical side.
Yeah.
There are days, but there are not many.
Mhm.
So for me, it depends more uh, when I go to sleep. The energy level or the energy output for the next day has to do for me more about if I'm going early to bed, let's say when I want to get up at 4 a.m. to do the
Mhm.
workouts, or I've planned it for the next cycle, so to speak, then I have to go at least at 9 p.m. to sleep. I must have 7 hours of sleep. Other than that, I when I compile 2, 3 nights of little sleep, I get grumpy and so on. I'm not a
Yeah.
good person to be around. So,
And
uh,
also
yeah, it's
performance drops. Like
yes,
it's natural.
everything.
Mm.
Yes. So, it that's what makes the difference for me. It's not that much of an energy shift if I do it early in the morning or late
Yeah.
or later during the day. But I think the biggest difference would be when I quit my 9 to 5 and I have much more time freedom to experience, to check out, because my 9 to 5 currently dictates what I can do at which times. So
Yeah, definitely.
um, that's what I have to say about this. That um, the only difference is I know for sure when I've done it in the morning, the biggest hurdle or the most important stuff for my health is done.
Yeah, I think also I like morning workouts because you just start with a different energy,
Yeah,
like, and I guess, like you're awake after the workout, so there's no way you still be tired afterwards. But
yeah.
yeah, so I think what I did is I have two workouts on some days, because the gym is always in the evening,
Mm-hmm.
but I always do a small session in the mornings.
Cool.
Exactly for that reason, to kick off energy, and then
Yeah.
afterwards I go in the ice bath. And after that, you're not tired anymore. There's no way.
No,
There's
no,
no way.
no, no,
No.
no. Not
So,
after an ice bath.
nah, no, no, no. Yeah, so what have been your biggest struggles so far? Like with all I know how it feels like finding out what you want to do. Like, I mean, you ended up with the coaching and the content creation, but I'm sure you tried out different things. And so what have been your biggest struggles to come to that point where you are right now?
Um, in regard to coaching and fitness?
No, in general, like staying consistent and all that. Like most
Ah,
people try something out and they quickly give up with the first thing they try out. I mean, I started with designing t-shirts. I've not even been a designer. I just put on some graphics and tried to sell it on Amazon merch. But yeah, so that was
yeah,
a thing that I started.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've tried different things. They are not everything was health related. So I did something like Herbalife.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know Herbalife, right?
I have heard it. I don't know
Yeah,
exactly what it is, but I heard about
yeah,
it.
it's a
Yeah.
network marketing company who
Uh-huh.
sells. They sell protein powders,
Mhm.
multivitamins, etc., etc. So this company or this adventure had something to do with health. Other than that, I was always into sports, building muscle, but I was never consistent like the last 3 or almost 4 years now.
Mhm.
And during that time, I tried different things. I've made stock whips from with paracord. Um, I tried out calligraphy, played bass, piano, violin. So there's also the big theme is always in the creative space.
Yeah, but that's awesome.
That's yeah. And the consistency really kicked in when I had or I got jaundice at 39, and my skin was pale gray, yellowish kind of
Mhm.
type, scratches all over the body. Then the biggest part of this was that my liver almost gave up.
Oh.
The bilirubin levels, they were so high that
Mhm.
when my doctor got the results from the blood test, I was uh, 2 days later, I was in a specific clinic here in Germany in regard
Mhm.
to my liver stuff, so that they could find out what's the cause for my problem,
Mhm.
and if those levels would rose higher than they already were, the liver would give up, and either I would die or I need a liver transplant. So
Oh man.
yeah, this was very tough. And during the time in my hospital, there was a major experience for me in regard to what I had to eat during that time.
Mhm.
I got a list, and then I did some menus I didn't recognize, so I had to look up on the
Mhm.
internet what it means, what
Yeah.
I would eat. And then I also realized, so tiny numbers, slightly above the menus and what's and the ingredients. And then I looked down where all the numbers would displayed and what it means, and I realized this: my food in the hospital was full of refined sugars, additives, and all the stuff that wasn't great, specifically for my situation I was
Yeah.
there for. And I knew no one would really take care for me. I had to do it on my own.
Take full
Uh,
ownership.
yeah, I had
Mhm.
to take full ownership. During that time, I also lost 6.5 kilos in around 5 weeks, and I could see my rib cage from the back in the mirror. So I'm not a big guy,
Mhm.
but
Well,
then I was
but you're a
really
fit
skinny.
man. You're a fit man.
Now, but
Yeah.
then I was very,
Like
very skinny, skin
starving,
and bones.
starving. Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. And yeah, that was the time when I realized when I get back home, I have to do what I have to do. And
Yes.
since then, this incident or this experience, that was the time when I got consistent with
Mhm.
my nutrition, my exercise. I'm not 100% consistent with everything what I'm doing,
Mhm.
but I would say it's most of the time around 90-95%. Um, so for the last around 4 weeks, I can't do as much as I'd like to work out. The nutrition is very good, but the working out is not as great as it would be. I can't somehow get rid of my cold, no matter what I try on supplementing stuff, etc.,
Mhm.
etc. So that when I let my body do its thing, fueling it with nutrition, and see when I can get back at it again. Yeah, but for me, the biggest trial was the experience with my liver stuff, and since then, the health side definitely improved.
Yeah, and I see like we all have that one moment. Like, like
Yeah.
that one moment when when we decide, like we gotta do the work. We need to take full ownership. Nobody else will carry us to the finish line or to the goals we want to achieve.
Yep.
We
Yeah.
gotta put in the reps. And also what I see a lot of times is that most of the success stories start with fitness. Like that's like that's a lot of people start working out, and there you learn how to be consistent and to be disciplined. I mean, you can work out for years and get no results. That's what happened to me because I worked out and then I have not been consistent really.
Yes.
So I have never been consistent with either the food or the workouts.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I think it's important to look at both. Because if
Yes.
you're not getting in enough protein or enough calories, you're not gonna see results. That's also a thing. And
It's not also that when you
yeah,
don't fuel your body with the right nutrients and
mm,
you put stimuli on it with the workouts, the
mm,
problem is that your body starts to eat itself from the inside, because for the breakdown of the muscle tissue,
yes,
it needs protein to rebuild itself. And then it gets the protein from where protein is. And then it's kind of
yes,
a self
a chain reaction.
destruction.
Yeah,
Yes,
self-destruction.
yes. So it's better if you don't work out but eat right than the other way around.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And yeah, also since I started to look at that and get in enough calories and protein, I see results. you know,
Yes.
because I
Yeah.
also plateaued and I'm doing a lot of calisthenics and you need a lot of strength to do handstand push-ups and all that stuff. And I was like, why can I get past those reps, you know?
Mm,
And then I looked at my calories and talked to some people and they were like, you cannot work out that often each week and eating 2000 calories, you know, like that's
yeah,
not
you're
worth it. You're
starving.
gonna, yeah, you're starving. Like you cannot go into such a deficit and work out with that intensity, you know.
Mm.
And I think that's just a fear to gaining to gaining fat or stuff. I don't know what it was, but and I also see that I at the moment I'm at 20% ish with body fat. And actually, I like the physique more than I when I was at 17%,
Mm.
17.7%. But I think it's just not sustainable like I did with the 50K steps a day or 35,000 steps a day. Is way too much cardio, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but it was experiment, you know, like I'm always doing such experiments and just look how far I can go. But is
Yeah.
this sustainable? No, I don't think so. Because
No.
walking for 7 hours a day is not sustainable.
Mm. No,
And
no.
no, and it was nice to try it out, but I think you need to balance all the stuff, the food, the workouts, and but eating enough, I think, is a big point.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, the eating stuff was, I would say, almost never a problem.
Mhm.
I'm not a guy with a sweet tooth. I don't like alcohol.
Mhm.
Um, so when I'm consistent with my nutrition, there's not really a problem. Where I'm struggling from time to time is more the workouts that I kind of not today. I
Mhm.
skip it eventually. Um,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. So for me, the nutrition part was never a problem, but that's from my experience, that's more a rarity than a normal thing because most people they really struggle with the nutrition part. And like you've mentioned, um, doing the 7 hours walking a day and all this volume with
Yeah.
about 2000 calories a day, it's
Mhm.
really tough. And for me, when I would expect from my clients to be that on point, like with the nutrition stuff, like I am, I think most of them would give up very early.
Yeah.
That's why I think the 80-20 rule, the Pareto principle, or you can even bump it up a bit, 90-10 um, way is much more uh,
Sustainable.
real sustainable,
Yeah.
relatable,
Mhm.
and doable for the long term. So yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like you said, I think it's with the workouts because you mentioned that sometimes you struggle with the workouts. I mean, even if it's just a few times a year.
yep,
What I also found out and what I teach my habit devs, for example, is like I'm working with a worst and best case scenario, and I tell them to show up every day. You know, like if they don't want to work out, go for 10 minutes. You know, go for 10 minutes. And almost every time they do more, you know,
yeah.
because
Once
once
you
you
start
start,
going,
yes, it's just the
the
inner resistance, right? With
yes,
everything. And I
yes,
also have a lot of tasks or even the ice bath. I'm shivering when I'm
Mm.
standing in front of it every fucking day. You know, I don't want to get in there. And basically the process is the first step is to sit in there for a minute. And I always trick myself by just saying, okay, today we're gonna do the worst case scenario. We just sit in there for a minute. Then the next step is to like full body coverage. So I lean backwards.
Yeah,
So I'm covered until here.
the neck. Yeah.
And so the first step is then a cold shower too. So afterwards, so it's also another shock. So 3 shocks in total because you get out of the cold water and then again the cold water. And so I trick myself and
Mhm.
just say, okay, we're gonna sit in for a minute and that's it for today. But every time I'm in there, I just keep going. I just lean back after a minute is over, and that's the same with the workouts. If you start, you can do it.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. That's
Yeah.
the only thing, like you've said, that's holding me back, or most of the people, that's the voice in your head. It's
Yes.
not, sometimes it happens that you're more tired on this day than the day before or last
Yeah.
week, etc. But that's normal. We are not robots, and so, but um, it's not a trick for me. But when I have my pre-workout in,
Mhm.
there's no
Well,
going back.
yeah, of
There's no
course.
going back. But
Yeah.
when I don't get my pre-workout in, then
Mhm.
I kind of, eh, then the skipping of the workout could happen.
Yes.
Once the pre-workout is in, no going back.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's Andreas, it was a nice talk. I just need to watch the clock. Yeah, it was awesome to talk to you, and I'm looking forward to another call this year. Hope maybe if you have time again, would be very happy to talk again.
Yeah, I think for me it was also nice to share some of my thoughts, because when you speak it out, you kind
Yeah.
of get a better picture of yourself. So
Yes,
it was a
definitely.
great experience, and we can definitely do it again.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks again, and have a nice rest of the weekend.
The
See you
same,
soon.
Michael. Bye
Bye.
bye.